It's just an alpha. If you spend more than 5 minutes in an MMO Discord, you've heard that phrase. It's pretty much the industry favorite get out of a jail free card at this point. My last video on Scars of Honor ruffled some feathers. I saw a few comments saying it's just an alpha, it's just a technical test. It's all fair points, but there's this misunderstanding here that I need to clear up. I wasn't reviewing a finished product, I was reporting a discrepancy. Because if you tell me a house is going to be ready for move-in by 2026, and I show up to find nothing but a hole in the dirt and a broken shovel, I'm not being unfair to the dirt. I'm questioning the timeline. Today, I want to give you the context that was missing from that first video, the expectations versus the reality, and why the alpha excuse in this specific case is a big red flag and not the defense. I also think a lot of people just saw the thumbnail and read the title and then went straight into the comment section, but that's expected here on YouTube already, so why I went into the playtest with the expectations I did. I have the official Beastburst press kit right here. It's a document you can find from their website publicly for anyone to read. And right there, in plain text, it promises a 2026 release. Now, we are currently in mid-2026, when a developer invites a wave of content creators to a playtest this close to their public release window. That does seem to imply that the game is further along than it is. You don't invite the neighbors over for housewarming if you haven't finished the floor. But what I found was a game where basic movement felt like ice skating on a server with 500 ping. Combat was fundamentally non-responsive. The UI felt like a placeholder for a placeholder. The marketing hype creates a depth. Eventually, the product has to pay it. The Beastburst invited us to a party, but when we got there, the walls weren't even upright. To the people saying it's just a test, I agree, it was a test. And the test pretty much showed that 2026 release date wasn't just optimistic, it was pretty much delusional. The second defense I see a lot is they just started, give them time. If that were true, I'd be much quieter. But the Beastburst Entertainment didn't start this project 6 months ago. They've been at it since at least 2021. The prototype existed even before that. We are 5 years deep into this development cycle. In 5 years, you should have figured out how a character moves from a point A to point B without clipping through the terrain. At the 5-year mark, you don't have a technical depth, you have a foundation issue. Let's look at the benchmarks. The original World of Warcraft, the game Scars of Honor is clearly trying to emulate, was built in about 4 to 5 years. Even games that have been in development hell forever usually have the basics down early on. But here, 5 years in, the simple act of moving still feels wrong. The physics work. Beastburst claims to have over 120 employees. If you have 100 plus people on payroll and 5 years of dev time, and your core mechanical loop is still this friction heavy, you have to ask where the output is going. You should give them a constructive feedback instead of roasting them. This is something I hear a lot too, and usually I'm the first person to advocate for helping indie devs, but there is a point where feedback becomes completely redundant. If a server crashes every 5 minutes, if the UI is literal asset flip, if the combat feels like there's no impact, what value does my feedback add? The developers have eyes, they have the same build I have, they know the service is crashing, they know the UI is clunky. Using the community as a QA department for basic engineering is a waste of everyone's time. QA is what you do before you invite the public. When you open the doors, you're looking for balance feedback or stress testing or quest flow. You aren't looking for hundreds of people to tell you that press F to interact doesn't work half the time. Your time is a resource. As a player, you shouldn't spend your limited free time doing the labor that the developer's salary is supposed to cover. My first video wasn't a first impressions because there wasn't enough of a game there to have an impression of. There was a report on the state of the technical test, and that state was broken. This isn't a call out for the sake of being mean. It's pretty much a reality check. Just don't invite the world to look at your game if it's not ready for public consumption. We need to stop rewarding future promises when the current state is a disaster. During the time I was recording my first video, the narrative kind of shifted. The release date seems to be officially dead. Now people are talking about 2027 or 2028. And here's the blunt truth. I don't think the game is ready for any kind of launch in 2027. Maybe we see some kind of an early access, but that's about it. The market moves too fast. Players have too many options. They need to stop the hype train. They need to push the date to 2028, go dark, and actually fix the game. Don't rush the game just to satisfy a Discord mob. I want indie MMOs to succeed. We all do. But success isn't built on an alpha excuse. It's built on having a game that actually works. And right now, Scars of Honor is missing both the polish and the time to find it. Thanks for the time. I hope this gives some context where I was coming from with my first video. I will keep you updated on the state of the game because it does have potential. I think that's the bottom line here. See you in the next one. Back to the grind.